Good morning, class. We're here today on Epicwood for our tour of the Gene Canfield Federal Government Building in Charlottetown. Before we head inside, I want us to move our bodies a little bit, take a little walk around the building. As we talk, I'm going to tell you a story and show you some illustrations. As I tell you the story, keep in mind some things we've been discussing about states of matter, playing a role in your community, and what it means to stand up for what you think is right. Let's get going. This story is about a young woman named Stephanie. In the cool, rainy month of April, back in 2023, Stephanie joined the thousands of other federal employees across Canada as they hit the picket fence in protest of unfair working conditions and increases in pay. It was terribly rainy and terribly cold as Steph walked around the Gene Canfield building in Charlottetown with her protest sign, where we are right now. She was surrounded by other union members that were excited at the prospect of getting better working conditions and concerned about how long it would take for an agreement to be made. As she walked in the rain, Steph reflected on how her story overlapped with her grandfather's story. He'd come to Canada from Ukraine as a child, and as an adult, had become a welder. In 1947, he was a part of a historic strike with his local union in Ontario. Her grandfather was a part of the crew of the Whisper, a union boat that defended the picket line on the water. Not just defended from words, but from physical violence too. Steph focused on the story to keep her motivation up as the rain increased. All around her, the other union members shivered and huddled in smaller groups for warmth. They walked the picket line in small units, shoulder to shoulder, tightly packed, many people trying to fit under a limited number of umbrellas, squished together like little particles of matter when it's cold. The sounds of the rain and passing cars were loud in their ears. Finally, around noon, the rain slowed and the sun started to come out. Soon after, the clouds started to begin to disperse. The rigid little groups of protesters began to relax as they warmed up. They talked more lightly and about happier things and moved between groups more freely, even though they still kept close in case a stray wind blew through. Still together, but a little more room between them on the sidewalk. After a long afternoon of walking the sidewalks, holding their signs, making lots of noise, Steph and her friends decided to head to the union base. This is a small building where they can get snacks and take a much-needed break. Finally, out of the wind and rain and noises from the cars, Steph and her friends were really warming up. In the warmth of the building, and with snacks in the mix, everyone's energy levels rose. The friends spread out to every corner of the room. Individually, they started speaking with other experienced picketers, listening to their stories. They moved around the small building with excitement. While mingling around freely, Stephanie told the other union members about her grandfather's story. Even though Steph's grandfather had passed away many years ago, being part of this made her feel connected to him. She appreciated what he had done in his life and what it took for him to stand up for himself and his community. She hoped that she could make a difference like he did. So, now that you've heard this story, how can we relate this to our recent lessons on states of matter? Another thing to think about, how do you think Steph felt about being on the picket line? What do you think her grandpa would have thought about her being there? Take a minute here to find a partner to share what you thought of the story and maybe an experience you might have trying to make a difference for yourself or your own community. Take this time to discuss. Okay, everybody, bring it in. Continue talking more later. No, that's enough. We'll keep going. So, in this scenario, Stephanie and her friends behave a little bit like particles. In the morning, when it was cold, the people were close together, staying in little rigid groups, and keeping information. This is how particles behave as a solid state, moving individually, vibrating or shivering in this case, while moving as a single object at the same time. Now, once the rain stopped and the sun came out, the picketers warmed up and started to move around each other while still staying together. A little more space on the sidewalk, but still together. This is how liquid behaves. They're still moving as a unit, but flowing around each other. The shape they take as a group changes, and it's dynamic. When Steph and her friends took a break in the Union base, you got it, that's exactly right. They were able to shake off that last little bit of chill and become nice and warm. Not solid, not liquid. That's right, they're turning into a gas. They felt energized and moved freely around the room. We see the same thing happening to particles as they get warmer. Eventually, particles can gain enough energy from heat to separate and disperse like a gas, spreading out over a large space and moving quickly. So this is how we might relate that to our states of matter. Any other thoughts on why this story might be important?